first interesting and surprising finding is that we showed that differences between people in their genetic dispositions towards non-cognitive skills can predict their differences in school achievement beyond cognitive abilities at all stages across compulsory education. And very few educational studies consider the role of differences in genetic dispositions between children. But even those that do often assume that genetic differences play a role in students' achievement via cognitive abilities. That is also called intelligence, which at its core is the ability to plan, reason, and think abstractly. So in other words, it is often assumed that differences between students in academic achievement are partly heritable because cognitive skills are partly heritable. But our study presents evidence for the contribution of genetic factors to academic achievement beyond cognitive ability at all stages of compulsory education. And not only non-cognitive skills predict achievement at all stages of compulsory education, but their role increases developmentally. And in fact, our second surprising finding is this increasingly important role of non-cognitive skills over academic development. So while genetic effects associated with cognitive skills remain stable across development, the role of non-cognitive genetic dispositions in predicting academic achievement nearly doubles across compulsory education. By age 16, cognitive and non-cognitive genetics contribute equally to differences in achievement between students, and this developmental increase was also observed when looking at differences between siblings. So this increase in the genetic prediction of academic achievement over development has been interpreted in the literature in terms of transactional models of gene-environment correlation. So children experience, evoke, and select environmental experiences partly based on their genetically influenced psychosocial characteristics. And this transaction can accumulate over development, particularly as children gain more autonomy to select their own experiences as they grow up, and can result in increased genetic effects on academic achievement. So through gene-environment correlation, genetic differences between children can therefore result in differential exposure to learning environments, which in turn can affect their individual differences, their differences in academic achievement. So our results are really further evidence for the idea that heritable individual differences in things other than cognitive ability are important for understanding differences in young people's educational outcomes. And we really found consistent evidence for the increasingly important role of non-cognitive skills, which include great perseverance, academic interest, value attributed to learning, for example, that these skills play during compulsory education. Therefore, fostering non-cognitive skills might provide really a successful avenue for educational interventions. However, our education systems are heavily skewed towards teaching and nurturing the cognitive aspect of learning, while the non-cognitive side of education, although equally important, is really left behind. And perhaps rebalancing our education system's focus towards teaching non-cognitive skills might lead to better and more inclusive educational outcomes for all children.